In 1973, Jack and Janet Smurl thought they'd found the perfect home. It was a modest duplex in West Pittston, Pennsylvania, one side for them and their daughters, the other for Jack's parents. It seemed like the ideal arrangement. Quiet street, decent neighborhood, a place they could settle into for years. For a while, life felt normal. The smell of fresh paint lingered as they unpacked boxes. Kids' laughter echoed through the rooms. But slowly little things started to happen. At first, it was the kind of stuff you could shrug off. A stubborn brown stain appeared on the carpet. No matter how many times Janet scrubbed, it came back. Rotten, foul smells, like decaying meat, drifted through the house, then vanished before they could find the source. Drawers slid open on their own. Lights flickered even after an electrician checked the wiring. And late at night, faint footsteps creaked above them in the attic when they knew no one was up there. Jack would tell Janet, "It's just an old house settling." But she couldn't shake the feeling that something unseen was sharing their home. Then, in 1975, things escalated. Appliances began breaking one after another. The television would turn on by itself in the middle of the night, its volume cranked high. The radio would suddenly blare without warning, always on a station they didn't listen to. And then came the shadows. At the edges of their vision, they would catch glimpses of dark, human-shaped figures moving through the hallways. When they turned to look directly, nothing. The attacks began not long after. One evening, Janet felt an invisible hand wrap around her hair and yank her across the room. She screamed, but there was no one there. Jack claimed that while walking down the stairs, an unseen force shoved him so hard he almost fell. Their German shepherd refused to go into certain rooms, standing at the doorway growling at empty air, the hair on its neck standing on end. They invited a priest to bless the home. He sprinkled holy water, recited prayers, but the activity didn't stop. In fact, it seemed to get worse. Desperate, the Smurls contacted Ed and Lorraine Warren, well-known paranormal investigators who had worked on the Amityville case. When Lorraine entered the house, she later claimed she immediately sensed a dark, oppressive presence. The Warrens told the Smurls this wasn't a ghost. It was a demonic entity. Over the next months, the Warrens and several priests attempted multiple blessings and exorcisms. Holy water was sprayed in every room. Latin prayers were chanted at every corner of the house. But the activity continued, sometimes worse than before. Objects flew across the room as if thrown by invisible hands. The temperature would drop suddenly, their breath visible in the air, even in the middle of summer. At night, Jack and Janet would wake to whispers in the darkness, voices they couldn't quite make out, speaking in a language they didn't recognize. Sometimes they'd feel a crushing weight pressing down on them in bed, holding them in place. This wasn't just noise in the walls. It was intelligent. It wanted them to know it was there, and it wanted them afraid. For more than a decade, the haunting continued. Neighbors said they saw strange lights in the windows when the family wasn't home. Friends reported hearing growls or feeling watched the moment they stepped inside. Some even claimed to be touched or pushed by something they couldn't see. The case gained media attention. Television crews showed up. The Smurls appeared in interviews, describing what they endured. Skeptics dismissed it all as stress, family tension, or even a bid for publicity. But the Smurls never wavered in their story. By 1989, after 16 years of terror, the family had reached their breaking point. They packed their belongings, left the duplex, and never looked back. And almost immediately, the activity stopped. The house remained. New tenants moved in. Life went on. But for Jack and Janet Smurl, the memories never left. They insisted until the end that they had lived alongside something dark, something that wanted to destroy them. To this day, the Smurl family haunting remains one of Pennsylvania's most infamous paranormal cases. Was it real? Or was it something else? Stress, fear, and imagination feeding on itself over time? No one can say for sure. But if you ask the Smurls, they'll tell you the truth. That house was hell. And for 16 long years, they were trapped inside it.